Okay, assalamu alaikum. Just to wait about 2 to 3 minutes because we are about more than 100 students. Okay, so better is just to give them 2 to 3 minutes and we can start then. Okay. Okay, Aisha. Okay, just wait a minute. Okay, I told the students to wait about 2 to 3 minutes. That's because of that reason. Just paused for just to wait, okay? Just to wait about 2 minutes, okay? Okay, last time, let me start then, okay? No worries, because look, I expect from more than 100 students. Okay, let me start it, okay? Last time we were actually doing what? We stopped it here, and the last we were trying to get to know some kind of the types of hackers. So this question is important because I may give you this in your midterm, okay? So get ready for that. I may mark this as a midterm question. So this, if it is the kind of question, I will give you for 5 points. So keep in mind, this is very important to remember. Okay. So look, the first of all, and whenever you are going to read the statement, you should have to give me a reason why we should consider it is a white, gray, or black hacker category. Okay. After hacking into ATM machines remotely using a laptop, he worked with ATM manufacturers to resolve the found security vulnerabilities. Okay. So what type of hat it is? So, okay, because I consider it a gray hat hacker because there is no promise from the system owner. It's not purely an unethical activity, but it is not going to be a very malicious. That's why we consider it as a gray hat hacker. Okay, second one. Okay, for the rest of the students, very important activity for your midterm. Okay, remember me. Remember this page number 14. Okay, this is slide number 14. From my laptop, I transferred about 10 million to my bank account using victim account numbers and pins after viewing recording of victims entering the number. Look at this. This is the kind of an activity where you're going to make some kind of financial gain through your bad intent. It's purely bad hat activity. Okay, so there is no doubt on it. We're not going to think about that. It is white. Okay, it is gonna be considered as a black hat. Okay, next one. Okay, yeah, black hat. Yes, Sharifa. Yes, you are. Okay, thank you very much for all of you. Be with me. Okay, be with me. So the one who is going to be participate in this kind of activities, I mean, do remember me. I will give you some extra points as well. Okay. Okay, next. My job is to identify weaknesses in the computer system in my company. Identify weaknesses. So this man is going to identify only the vulnerabilities in the computer system in the company. So I mean, not going to make an intention for bad. It's not going to be what's a white hacker. We can consider as a white hacker. Yes. What's the answer here is white hacker. Okay, that's all, Gianna. You look, inshallah, if there is a kind of a question in exam, this kind of question, you will get a full mark in that question. I used malware to compromise several corporate system to steal credit card information. Oh my God, and sold the information to the highest bidder. Right. That's purely very bad to think about. It's going to be a black hat hacker, okay? During my research for security exploit, I stumbled across a security vulnerability on a corporate network that I am authorized to access. So I mean, some of the persons going to make research for kind of security exploits, and he found during his research find security hole for a corporate network authorized to access that I am authorized to access. So it means that it's not going to make any kind of fact. He's already got an permission to do that, and he's authorized to do this kind of things. And that's why we can consider it a white hacker. I'm working with technology companies to fix flaw with DNS. That's all about white hacker. Okay, let me see what kind of white hacker, gray hacker. Okay, I mean, gray. Okay, who said that Wafa Amjad? She said that it's gray. This is gray. Okay, is it gray? During my research for security exploit. So he has a reason. He has a reason. So I stumbled across a security vulnerability on a proper network that I'm authorized to access research. I mean, he got permission. I'm not going to make a kind of fantasy. He's being employed for this. That's why it's not considered as a gray hat, but it is purely white hat. Okay, let's start from the next one. Now we are going to start about the common threats here. Okay. Okay, let me read the text so you will be having a good idea about the text here. Okay. Now, cybersecurity specialist possesses the insight to recognize the influence of data and harness the power to build great organization, provide services, and protect people from the cyber attacks. And this is what the cybersecurity specialist should do. They should do what they recognize and the influence of the data and harness the power to build great organization, provide services, and protect people from the cyber attack. This is what the job is. Okay. Cybersecurity specialists recognize the threat and data that if used against people. Yes. A cybersecurity threat is possibly that a harm event such as an attack will occur. Okay. So I mean, this is the definition. What is the definition of threat? It means the possible event that can occur, such as an attack. It's a possibility. It's a possible thing that can happen malicious, okay, such as an attack. This is called a threat, and it is harmful. That's called a possible threat. A possible harmful event is called as a threat. And then weakness is a vulnerability. Okay, so wherever we get the chance to exploit a network and we got a way to get inside the network, it's called the weakness, and the vulnerability is called vulnerability. Cyber threats are particularly dangerous to certain industries and type of information they collect and protect. This is all obvious here. Okay, which kind of data and which of those organizations where the data is important, personal, your own personal information for the medical records, educational records, employment, and financial records. So majorly in all these organizations where we consider the data is very important, then we can apply these security measures here. That's why it is important, because all these in all these organizations, the very important thing is the source of data. This is, I mean, these organizations be considered as the four very basic sources of data. Okay, let's move next now. Network services like DNS, HTTP, and online database are prime targets of cyber criminals. Okay, so now we got a question that what kind of threats that might be associated with DNS, HTTP, and online database are prime targets of. So these are prime. These are considered as a prime target for the cyber criminals. Okay, so first of all, you should have to know what DNS is. So DNS is actually a phone book of the internet. Okay, so humans, you and me, access information online through domain names. Okay, for example, qu.edu.sa is the name of, is a Mocha Jama, is a website for the university, and but there is a number associated with this, because it is human readable. For the numbers we may forget it. That's why the DNS do what? Turns domain name into IP addresses, okay, which browser used to load internet pages. So every device connected to the internet has its own IP address, so which is used by other devices to locate the device. This is what DNS is. Understand? So IP address, I think it's an internet protocol. Okay, so that's kind of a number, IPv4, IPv version 6. So each website had its own IP address that's associated that with that address. Okay, that with that domain name. Okay, next HTTP. We have HTTPS, secure hypertext transfer protocol. So this is simple HTTP. So these are primary target, but now most of the websites they do HTTPS. Okay, now uses criminals use packet sniffing tools to capture data streams over the network. Okay, okay, let me read the structure. I'll tell you the story of this. Packet sniffers work by monitoring and recording all information coming across the network. Okay, look at this. Keep in mind, first of all, packet sniffing is a method of detecting and assessing packet data sent over the network. Okay, so it means that this activity can be used by administrator for network monitor and security. Okay, packet sniffing tools can also be used by hackers to spy or steal confidential data. Okay, so the criminals use these packet sniffing tools, and I told you the reason of this. Okay, criminals can also use rogue access points or rogue devices such as unsecured Wi-Fi access points. What are those rogue point devices? So rogue devices, simply it is an access point installed on a network without the network's owner permission. And it is very, very bad, because in this way it gives an access of your internal network to the outsiders. Okay, so for example, let me give you, because it is actually mentioning a Wi-Fi access points. So why it is bad? Because if the attacker owns an access point, they can intercept data flowing through the network. This is why on the coffee shops, on airports, somebody might connect to an internet or Wi-Fi access points. They consider it as being considered as for the coffee shop, but they might have some the same name as for the coffee shop. Okay, so this is why coffee shop provided the warning to its customers they wanted to stop an unauthorized access point on their network from intercepting users' data. So this way, some others might have the same name without having a password, and it can be. This is why this. That's how we can capture the traffic by using some of the sniffing tools. Okay. Okay. So we should think twice, thrice. We should think multiple times before connecting to the free wireless hotspot in public locations. Okay, like coffee shops, like airports, or wherever you are, where it is free. And if we see something odd, we should notify the network owner. Okay, and we can protect ourselves by using VPN, virtual private network, or we can use HTTPS. So these VPNs and HTTPS both send a jumbled form of data across the network. So even if frog access point intercept it, they would not be able to unscramble it. This is how we can protect ourselves. Okay, this is the way how you can get. Next, we have a packet forgery or packet injection interferes with an established network communication by constructing packets to appear as if they're part of the communication. So packet injection, let me tell, I mean, you can read that stuff, but I'm going to give you an idea. Packet injection is one way hackers try to disrupt or intercept packets from already established network connections. Okay. The way they do this is by injecting their own packets into the data stream. So packet injection is an attack which involves the interference of network by forging data packets to make them look like part of the communication system. Okay. So, and this kind of attack, packet injection, is used mostly for denial of service attacks or man in the middle attack. Okay. This is the story of, okay, here I think you got this point. And let me move next now. Okay, here we have some of the things here you must have to know. Domain includes, so for the manufacturing industry, industrial control, automation, SCADA, energy production and distribution, communication. I mean, these are all the systems that are associated with these organizations. They all can be disturbed through, I mean, all these can provide you the vulnerability, and they have their protection concerns as well. For example, SCADA, it is supervisory control and data acquisition system. Okay, it is a system of software and hardware that allows industrial organization to control industrial processes, or it might be locally or remotely. So this might be disturbing if there is a kind of vulnerability in that system. Understand? So the same way we might have all these fields where interruption is possible in these kind of, okay, infrastructure system for manufacturing, energy, communication, transportation. Okay, let me move next now. Okay. On a personal level, everyone needs to safeguard his or her identity, data, and computing devices. I mean, these are just a statement. You just have to keep in mind this. Okay, that's a kind of generic statements. At the corporate level, it is the employee's responsibility to protect the organization's reputation, data, and customers. At the state level, national security and citizens' safety and well-being are at stake. I mean, this is how he is actually trying to discuss some of the security concerns on your personal level, corporate level, and the state level. Okay, in the US, National Security Agency, NSA, is responsible for intelligence collection and surveillance activities. The efforts to protect people's way of life often collect with their rights of policy. Sometimes the privacy compromised, but so look at this, it's often conflicts with. But that's their job to that's their job to make everyone's data private, even if it is private, to make them protected and secure. Okay, let's see here. We will discuss it later. Okay, my medial activity, will discuss it later about this. Okay, now let's start about spreading cybersecurity threats. Spreading, how it spread cyber threats. Okay, how threats spread. Attacks can originate from within the organization or from the outside the organization. Okay, internal security threat. So this is normally being considered as a very serious threat, because most of the threats are kind of vulnerabilities. The one who is working inside the company is that is being known by that person. Okay, so he might know about these kind of things accidentally or intentionally. So internal threats have the potential to cause greater damage than external threats. Okay, because internal users have direct access to the building. So if, for example, I told you an example uh, about this kind of threat. What was that? About the access point, rogue access point. Okay. So rogue access point, anyone who is working, for example, in a company can directly connect these access point to the network of the university. So from outside the boundary of the university, he may connect through that access point, and he is now part of part of the network of the university. Okay, so internal attackers typically have knowledge to corporate network. So it resources, they know very well where they have installed their routers, they know where they have their switches, and they know the arrangement of the cabling and where it is being passed. So they may have the knowledge about the security countermeasures, policies, higher level administration privileges. Okay, that's all it. That's why they have greater access to that network. But for the external security threats, they are normally being considered as amateur or skilled attackers, because they need to get exploit. They need to get through different ways through. Like for example, in last lecture, somebody told us an example through the social engineering, where we use phishing, scareware, and this kind of attacks. So they will actually try each and every attack to enter and to exploit the vulnerabilities within that network from the other side. Okay, so use social engineering trickery to gain an access. Okay, so if I'm saying, everybody knows, I mean, the last we talked about social engineering. Somebody was asking about the social engineering. Social engineering is a technique that exploit human errors to gain private information. Like for example, if I send you an email like phishing, and I'm trying to get to know about your information, I may give you some kind of uh, something about to you are agreed about, that you may go for that kind of an option through which you make mistakes, and I can get your private information. Let me give you an example here. Okay, so this kind of attacks that comes in different forms and can be performed anywhere where human interaction is involved. For example, batting attacks. Here we use false promises. We lure the users into a trap, and that helps to steal their personal information. Okay, so the mostly what we use, for example, we may use a kind of bat, like for example, we may have a uh, malware infected flash drives. Okay, so what we will do, we will place these malwares are flash drives with their malware infected flash drives, bathrooms, elevators, parking lots. Okay, so inside the company, inside the targeted company. Okay, so the bat has an authentic look to it, such as we present a label as it is company's payroll list. Okay, the victim will do what? Will pick up the bat out of the curiosity, insert into his computer, into our home computer. So it will result in an automatic malware installation on the system. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, this is how it works. So this is one of the form of the social engineering. Okay, so this is betting is one form of social engineering. Then we may have another one. We may perform this social engineering activity by phishing, because phishing is most popular social engineering attack. Okay, like for example, scams or emails, and we can send text messages just to create a sense of urgency or curiosity or a fear in the victim. So he will be worried about a text or email or something else. So he, this kind of fear or curiosity or something he's gonna do it urgent. We will try to get and to reveal sensitive information, because that messages in email contains a kind of links to malicious websites that can also help to open attachments that contain malwares. Okay, so for example, and let me give you another example where email is sent to the users of an online service that alerts them to open the email. Okay, that might be related to your job. So once you get in hurry, so you try to get that chance, even if it might be a chance for your job or an interview. So they might ask you to open an attachment, and this kind of activity might be malicious for you in form of links that is being forwarded to the malicious websites, or may have some kind of attachment that may help, that may further be installed on your computer as a malware. This is a kind of a phishing attacks. Okay, and we may perform this social activity in form of scareware. Okay, oh, so scareware is just a kind of a message that appears on your computer. I mean, just like a false alarm or fictitious threat. I'm inside. Whenever I open a website, it appears here, okay, that you are in danger, your computer is in danger. Okay, you should install this to protect your computer, something like this. Okay, so they bombard your computer with the false alarms and kind of fictitious threats. So you really get puzzled what's going on your computer. So users are deceived to think their system is infected or is in danger with malware. So it prompts them to install software that has no real benefit actually. Okay, and got it. A common scareware example is we got a pop-up banners appears in your browser while you are surfing on the web, and displaying such a text message that your computer is infected with harmful spyware programs. If either offers install the tool, offer kind of malware infected tool for you, and will direct you to the malicious sites where your computer become infected. So be conscious about these kind of things. So these kind of things might help external security threats. Got it? Even though I hope I have explained to you very well about to get to know about external threats. Okay, so I told you also about kind of social engineering, like for example, scareware, phishing, batting. Okay, So whatsoever I'm telling, I might ask you in an exam. Okay, let's move next now. Okay, hey, let me write it down here. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm sorry, I just take a pause about. Let me write it down here. Yeah, I should write it down here. Come on, I should write on this one. Is important. Okay, important for midterm exam. Let me save this one. Here you go. And I ask. We have already discussed about much in detail about the social engineering, so I might consider it is for the midterm as well. Okay, so that's it. That is just good to know about when I'm going to make midterm design your midterm. So I got this kind of comments or this kind of, I mean, to get to know that it should be included in the midterm. Okay, now next one, vulnerabilities of mobile devices. Okay, let's see. In the past, employees typically used company-issued computer connected to corporate LANs. Yes, it was obvious. No, just like in university, all the staff members and the teachers working in the university, they use their the computers, and they use their own laptops, and they use also the university also has given them their computers, and that computer are protected through kinds of some firewalls, antiviruses, and so they have their protection mechanism. Okay, now look, mobile phones such as iPhones, smartphones, tablet, thousands of other devices becoming powerful substitutes for addition to the traditional PC. That's all it took. Okay, that's our concern now. So more and more people are using these devices to access enterprise information. Bring your own device is a growing trend. Look at this. This is now very important. You need to note it down. Bring your own device. Okay. I mean, as I told you that we normally use computers that have been installed by the university, and you are using in the university, and we use domains to access the university resources. But some of the people, they might bring their own computer, they connect to the university network, then start using. Okay, that computers might be compromised. You may lose lost their computers, you may lose their other kind of softwares. I mean, these are iPhone, mobile phones, smartphones, you may lose them. So this way you might lose also the kind of information. Okay, so that might mean, for example, if you are using VPN to get access to your the university network, you may lose your user ID and password because that is being saved automatically here to the browser. That might be hacked. That might be used for kind of malicious. They say it's kind of malicious concern. Okay, so bring your own device is a policy that make and employees enable them in an organization to use their personal owned device for work related activities. So because of what? Because data protection concerns, if we have data, and this kind of information can lead to the vulnerabilities into the information security or in their even their university network or other organizations. But there we have the data is very important there. Data and the access, and they can go through their network and see their design and other kind of, they can manipulate a different kind of text, because that's why they got straightforward a platform through which they can straightforward and directly can manipulate those attacks instead of ranging and going to see for the vulnerabilities. Then they can, okay. So this is that way that people, even the gray and the white hackers, can do also this kind of activity. But for external network, I mean external possibility to get in a vulnerability takes time, and it needs to be very expert to execute that attacks. Understand? So that's all it about this. So now we have emergence Internet of Things. Internet of Things, I told you that here it is a kind of thing when we have connected each one of the components that are connected to the internet through some of sensors and kind of other information or devices, hardware attached through it. Okay, so internet, because of we have millions of devices connected to that network now, that is a concern because all other devices, they have a rush of data, they have a huge amount of data that needs to be protected. Okay, so because every user that is going to use those devices mostly increase the network, and it requires the network protection as well. So there is more data to be managed and secure when there is a kind of Internet of Things. So what we have to do then, we need all these connections plus the expanded storage capacity and storage devices offered through the cloud and virtualization has led to exponential growth of data. And big data, I told you an example, okay? So where you are actually going to save all your information there on the cloud and virtualization. There it is not easy to manage this kind of stuff if it is online. Okay, now let's see impact on big data. Look, this is how the things are emergence of IoT and how it is going to make an impact on big data. Big data is the result of data sets that are large. I told you big data is actually a data where it is huge and it is increasing day by day exponentially. So this is how through the emergence of IoT. Okay, so we got a challenge now. We challenge big data possesses both challenges and opportunities, three dimensions. Because why? The big data has about three concerns: where volume of the data, where velocity of the data, variety of the data. So volume is all about the amount of data, and velocity is about the speed of data processing, and variety is about the number of types of data. This is all about it. Okay, so these are our concerns and challenges. Okay, these are the challenges. That's why we need to make secure. We need to make secure this kind of data, but we have these dimensions as well. We need to think about this on this side as well. Okay, there are numerous examples of big corporate hacks in the news. As a result, enterprise system requires dramatic changes in security product. You can read that stuff. Okay, I have told you already the story, what the story is all about. Okay, now we have advanced weapons, advanced persistent threat. Okay, let's talk about this. What is this? So advanced persistent threat is a broader term. Okay, it means that this is not just about malware, but it is an attack, and it is not attack. It is attack campaign. It is an attack campaign in which the intruder or the team of intruder established a long-term presence on the network to mine high sensitive data. That's called advanced persistent threat. Got it? So you just have to know, this is very important to know. And somebody might ask you what advanced persistent threat. So it means this is a kind of a threat that going to be persistent. It means that something that is going to be stay for a longer time. So here the attacker or the team of attackers, and then these are intruders, are the team of intruders. They may establish a link. Okay, so the link for the longer term presence on the network. For what? To get or mine highly sensitive data. That's, is it is it ransomware? No, that's not ransomware. This is just to get or gain an unauthorized access to the network and remain undetected to an extended period of time. I mean, the purpose is just what? Data theft. The purpose is what? To damage the network. Okay. I mean, there's these people not going to take kind of some immediate thing like financial gain. No, the people looking for the data, they make whenever they make it, they think it's necessary, they make some kind of damage to the network instead of, I mean, having some immediate kind of financial gains. Understand? So this is being considered as more sophisticated intrusion method, not like not like ransomware where people disturb your system and your data and they ask for money to. Okay, this is called that's what the story about advanced. This is what the story about advanced weapons or advanced persistent threat. Understand? So we have here Federal Identity Management System. Understand? So what is this Federal Identity Management System? So this system actually makes sure that you are safe, and because through this system we can apply access control system, and the people who are actually working in one organization, they can use the same credentials to enter into another network. Okay, we can say this is a kind of a system that makes you easier to access multiple domains or networks with your same access credentials. Okay, just like in the university, they might have different domains for the students. So look at this for the students, for the teachers, for the staff members. So if I'm giving an access for the two domains or all those domains, so I may go with the same credentials. I can go on any of them. But students may stay only in their own domain. Okay, because the access permission might be different in different domains. So Federal Identity Management System allows user to separate enterprises to use the same verification method to access application and other resources. This is what actually the whole story for this one and FIM. That's got Federal Identity Management System. Okay, let's move next on. We have some of the safety implications. And the safety implication, look at they discussed about what? They discussed about safety implications about dark forces. Okay, just like the 9/11 attack, 9/11 attack, and there is a telephone denial of service attack as well. So what was that? Okay, let me tell you first of all about TDOS. It is telephone denial of service. Denial of service, you already know about this. So uh, in that attack, we flood making malicious inbound calls, and we need to target public safety response system, just like in 9/11. Okay, if these were coordinated physical terrorist attacks, a tedious incident could be particularly disruptive and resulting in large number of victims unable to connect with emerging services or emergency service. Okay, for example, this is so straight. Let me tell you very simple way. TDO system is whether it's a telephone network system, but we apply or we execute this attack just to disturb the public safety control system. We make kind of malicious inbound calls, and we actually target public safety response system. That is 911. If there is some emergency, people can call on 911, okay, on that number. So whenever this number is busier, so people may not get the call and cannot resolve their issues. So the damage might be higher if it is being attacked. Okay, so this is what actually the story for TDOS, time denial of service tax. Okay, look at this next generation 911 call center are vulnerable because they use voice over IP system rather than I mean, this system can also be exploited. That's why I say that, and this kind of, so if we whenever we have this kind of things, we know how to protect them. So safety implications mean here we have also concern with these systems that are already been applied and that are been implemented in these kind of domains. Okay, let's now move next. More highlighted recognition of cyber threats. Heightened cognition. So the defenses against cyber security, the start of the cyber era was very low. I mean, here he told us what I say in the start of the cyber security era, the the threat and the vulnerabilities were low, and there was less threat because of less knowledge, because of even and but there was a great threat. Why? Because even the student or the script kiddies can also gain access to the network. I mean, that was a threat, but the people doesn't have much awareness about the cyber world as well. But now what have done, it's not easy for the students or the script kiddies to uh, to get access to this kind of system because they already applied the security measures. So here we have this not scripted his job now. Now you should have a great awareness about how you have to apply and you have to execute threats and how you have to find a vulnerability. So it's a great science now. So I mean, this is this is what he's actually trying to tell you here. But that's a very simple text about this. Okay, you can read this text. Now the next is about creating more experts. So I mean, in that kind of, he's actually talked about implications. He has told you about kind of public safety systems, how we can protect them, and what are their implications. And he talked about the major concern associated with the big data and how it is being emerged if there is emergence of Internet of Things. So vulnerabilities in mobile phones. So he's actually trying to get to know the platform, the threats, the attacks, and the concerns and implications, and what will be and how we're going to do that one. Here, actually, he's trying to tell you all about this. Now he's trying to tell you that how we can control that kind of situation. So they need to design a kind of a framework. So look at this. Here they have a workbook frameworks for the cybersecurity. Now he's trying, in this phase, he's actually trying to discuss some kind of measures and how we can apply and how the rules for and the workforce for that are going to be associated with the system, associated with the workforce, associated with all the people that are associated. Now we can protect them. This is actually the domain for this for this topic. Okay, so next time we will start from creating more experts. I will record the rest of it is 29, slide number 29. The rest we have about 11 slides. So I will record this. That's on Thursday. Okay, that's it for today. Inshallah, see you. Yeah, if you have question, you can ask me. Otherwise, you are free. Okay. Okay, we are 57. I don't know. On the very first class, I was having about more than 100 students. Now, the very second class, I have about 57. So, inshallah, no worries at all.